Hello, everybody. I'm Dee Lisa. I'm a dream doula.
Hey, I'm Cristina Spataro. I'm a psychotherapist and relationship coach.
Ah, and we're going to talk about productivity or distraction because I think they're connected.
I think they definitely are because distractions can lead you away from your productivity. But I actually had gotten this great screensaver. It was originally from an app that I since deleted, but the screensaver kind of stayed. And it basically said, when you stop what you're doing and pursue something more interesting, you're not wasting your time, you're actually recharging yourself.
Oh my goodness, say that again.
When you stop what you're doing and go to something more interesting to you, you're actually not wasting your time, you're recharging yourself.
That's why people scroll on social media.
Well, that has a whole bunch of other stuff attached to it. But I do believe in the power of recharging. That's super important because the thing is, we have the things that need to get done in a day, yes, but we also have things that interest us and we have things that make our hearts and minds engaged. So I think there needs to be a balance between getting certain things done and still recharging that. It's like you don't want to wait till your needle is on E before you refill the gas tank.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the analogy of the needles on E, and maybe people drive electric cars these days, so they can't understand this. But if you let your gas tank go all the way to empty, there's like some sediment down there that
Mm-hmm.
should not get sucked into your engine. And so you're getting like gunky, gross gas
Yeah.
instead of letting that just be at the bottom of your gas tank while you keep filling it and filling it and filling it. And oh, I've been self-employed for so many years, over 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
And what I find challenging for myself, and I'm sure that if I find it challenging, other people do too, is focusing my energy on what I need to get done next.
Mm-hmm.
And just like waiting for the gas tank to be empty, sometimes I'm like, oh no, I didn't prepare for this. I got to do this right now. Oh no, I didn't prepare for this. I got to do this right now. And then sometimes I think, oh, wouldn't I love to go take a walk right now?
Mm.
So it's like work, play, work, play, work, play. I love the idea that you can stop what you're doing for a moment, go do something that excites you a little bit more, that's
Mm-hmm.
a little bit more interesting, recharge, and then come back to the work.
You absolutely can. And I would say it's actually crucial.
Mm,
It's actually crucial. This is why, actually, for a lot of my clients with attention deficit disorder or attentional problems, we actually talk about breaking tasks into smaller chunks. So you do a little bit, you take a break, and then you come back to it. Now, I know we also talked about that when you're in the zone, it's hard to get out and come back, but you need to really be in tune with what your mind and body need.
yeah, for some people, when they're in the zone, and maybe this isn't people who have attention deficit disorder, but some people get into the zone and they're in. They're just
Mhm.
making stuff happen. They're creating what they want.
Mhm.
They're focusing on whatever that task was in their world or whatever they're creating. And if you pull them out of that, just by asking them a question, sometimes they're like, "What? What?"
Mhm.
It takes them 20 minutes to get back
To
into
get
the
back in the zone. Yep.
but you're saying for people that have attention span superpowers, let's call it that,
Yes.
they can take their attention away from the task, recharge themselves, and then come back to it with a fresh eye.
It depends on the person, but
Uh-huh.
I the reason I'm saying they need to do that because the problem is if you push yourself past your attentional limit, you're actually going to be less productive. You're going to get more frustrated, and the chance of you actually completing the task is less.
Mhm. So you have a higher chance of completing the task if you take a break and go do something interesting and then come back. What kind of things do people do that work with you? To
It,
what is the thing that seems more interesting? Is it like eating lunch?
it could be eating lunch, it could be going for a walk, it could
Mhm.
be just looking outside, it could be petting the dog, it could be anything because we have things that honestly we enjoy. And this is the phenomenon I see with people with ADHD because it is a superpower. For things they really enjoy, they're on fire. Like
Right.
they really can be very attentional. And that's why sometimes when they're first diagnosed, they're like, but I can do this and never lose my attention because you're interested and that increases your dopamine levels. And so you're able to keep the attention for longer.
But isn't that a life lesson right there, Christina? Is why don't you find work or create a life where what you're doing is interesting to you?
Yes. Well, yes, I agree. And a lot of the work I do with my clients is about finding the things in life because sometimes we get stuck doing what others expect of us
Hmm.
instead of what truly is our passion, is the thing that interests us. Now, I also understand financial and personal realities and obligations. Sometimes you have other stuff going on, and I respect that. But at the same time, if there's any way that you can carve out in your life things that are you're truly passionate about, you have to. You have to make that time because we only get in this life, this body, we're just getting one shot at this. And do you ever notice people when they have like those major like life and death moments or things, they suddenly want to do the things that they always wanted to do. But if you actually lived your life with how precious it truly is, maybe you won't be so uptight about those other things that, yes, could theoretically be important. But at the end of your time here, which is going to matter to you more that you did?
Right. And when hospice nurses talk about people's regrets at the end of life, it's never they would have made more money or
Mm-hmm.
they could have worked more. It's never
Mm-hmm.
that.
It's
It's
never
never
that.
ever the job. It's
Mm-hmm.
never ever the career. It's never ever the work or the money. It's did I love my
Mm-hmm.
beloveds enough? Or
Yes.
why didn't I eat the ice cream when I wanted to? Or
Yeah.
or dance out in public when I was embarrassed to. Or all the things you could do,
Absolutely.
yeah, that you don't allow yourself to do.
Yeah.
Um, wow, yes. Okay, so we have a 3-second attention span now. That's
Yes.
as a society. I was with
I,
someone the other day who teaches meditation globally,
mm-hmm.
and he said, it's a 3-second attention span. People don't have enough attention span to even focus on the breath anymore. So when
Wow.
he teaches a meditation that takes you 3 seconds to get into.
Mm.
1 second, 2 second, 3 second, you're in this meditation with him. And he teaches it to prisoners in the LA prison system. And
Wow.
92% of the prisoners that he teaches meditation to do not return to prison.
Really?
92%.
Wow. That's a great success rate.
It's unbelievable. So whatever he's doing is beautiful. And even a global meditation teacher will
Mm-hmm.
say our attention span is so short.
Oh, yeah. I agree. We have a frighteningly short attention span.
Yeah. So if you want to be focused, I guess you have to remember squirrel, 3 seconds. Oh, wait, here I am. I'm doing this thing. I'm doing this thing. I'm doing this thing. I'm doing this thing. Maybe I'm getting a little bit weary of it. I should go do something I love right now. Come back
Mm-hmm.
and do the thing, do the thing, do the thing. Take a little break and then come back. I don't imagine that works too well for office workers.
It depends on the nature of the work because when you're working in an office or back in the day before pandemic happened and things got a little messed up, Did you really spend all day at your desk? Or did you go other places? Did you maybe get a go coffee and then, go
Yeah,
here and go out? Did you really spend every second of it? Now, obviously, the boss was checking, oh, yeah, your desk every day, but you really weren't. That's why this idea, oh, when some bosses try to say we have to go back because, people are more productive on the job. No, they have the illusion you think they are because you're trying to keep an eye on them. But if I guarantee if you actually looked back at traditional office stuff, you either take the break voluntarily or you take the break because you're burnt out and you're like, if you don't take the break, you're going to lose it, or you're tired or whatever. Much better to take the break before you reach your breaking point.
sure. And now I'm thinking back on the years ago when I worked in an office, we had 7 staff people, 65 real estate brokers, and the people that worked on staff, they didn't work 100% of the time when they were there. They stopped to go get coffee, or somebody was chatting them up and they said, come
Mm,
help me with the copy machine. I jammed some paper in there. Or they'd go to the bathroom, or they sit in
mm-hmm,
the back room. The rule was back then, if you're going to look at your phone, go take a break in the coffee room and
mm-hmm.
phone. Now probably everyone knows how to sneak a look at
Sneak a
right at their
peek.
desk, or just have the whatever on the
Yeah.
computer while they're working. But yes, there were tasks for them to complete, but were they 100% focused on the task 100% of the day? No, of course not. Uh, and yeah, if you think about not being in the office, not being distracted by the copy machine jams or making more coffee or wandering to the bathroom and back, you could probably do your whole day's job in not 8 hours, but 5
Mm-hmm.
or 4.
Yep, you
Yeah.
could.
Yeah. And that's, I don't know. Is that how it's going with people now? They don't have to go back to the office. They can work online and they can go take a break.
I think it depends on the organization they're working for because there are still people that are working virtually. But
Yeah.
I do know, and I've worked with clients where they're being forced to go back or they've been forced to go back. And let's just say they're not happy about
Yeah. I met a young guy here who took an art class with me, and he said he's working remotely. And he said, if they tell me I have to go back to the office, I'm going to quit.
it. Hmm.
I'm gonna quit.
Yeah. Because to your point, when you say when you're in hospice, you're not thinking, I wished I'd spent more hours at the office. You're thinking
Mhm.
about what have I done that has brought my life joy? So when we went through this whole crazy pandemic thing where we're literally dealing with life and death, people started to see really quickly what really mattered.
Mhm.
People talk about the negative effects of the pandemic, and obviously the depression, the anxiety, the illness, 100%. But a bigger part was when something interrupts the normal day to day and it forces you to reevaluate your life and your priorities. That is very powerful. And I always felt we sort of missed the boat on this as a society because while some people definitely got that memo, too many people wanted to go back to status quo, or I just want to be things be back to normal. But they didn't realize sometimes when you have something like that happen, that it was literally a global phenomena. No country was not touched by this. This was a major moment in humanity where we could have really chosen to come together as a people and say, what are we doing? Who do we really want to be? Do we really want this status quo? And some people, as individuals, have definitely made those choices. But I think this was a chance, and it could still be a chance for humanity to really see the light, as it were.
Yeah. Yeah. And during the pandemic, you were probably working with people whose they couldn't not focus
Yes.
on their fear and anxiety.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you couldn't leave your house without focusing on your fear and anxiety. You couldn't go to a store without focusing on your fear and anxiety. So the fact that maybe people want to go back to less fear and less
Mm-hmm.
anxiety. And they think going back to whatever they did before is going to give them that. They don't
Yeah,
remember that they had fear and anxiety before the pandemic,
exactly.
and it was just
Exactly.
exacerbated.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
And don't you agree that fear and anxiety are just ways for our psyche to talk to us about something's not right here, honey?
100%. Because I always go back to the idea that human beings have very poor defense systems in terms of like other animals on this planet. We don't have particularly strong teeth. We don't have a thing to sting or other ways. So the only thing we really have to protect ourselves is our brain. And
Mm,
it's amazing. So the brain's true function, honestly, is to keep us alive, to keep us out of danger, and to keep this body going.
right.
So I do feel that fear, anxiety does not necessarily have to be a bad thing. It's like anything taken to excess can turn problematic. But if channeled properly, your fear and anxiety is telling you something's off. Something's off. Let's look into this before we dive headlong.
Right. Thank you, Fear. Thank you, Fear, for coming up to show me something I don't love.
Something.
And I
Right.
think for a lot of people, they're like, I don't know what that is. La, 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 la. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And that's where people like us come in, because we can help people get to the bottom of what they really already know, but they don't want to know.
Yes. That's the key. That's why what you and I do is so valuable, because people might think, well, I know what I want. I understand myself. See, it's really hard when you're in it. But
Yeah,
us as the
there's a
objective
great
observer.
saying. It's hard to see the picture when you're in the frame.
Yeah. Oh, I like that saying. It's
Yeah,
true.
it's
I
hard to
really
see the
like
picture
that.
when you're in the frame. It's hard to see your own foibles. It's hard to see your own
Yes.
mistaken beliefs, but other people can see it. People who don't even know you that well can see what's driving you if it's fear and anxiety based. They can see that.
Yes. They could
That's the
see
other
it.
beautiful thing that Michel Pascal, who's the meditation teacher that I met recently, talks about. He talks about how whatever, if you're in fear and anxiety, you're like a beacon of fear and anxiety. You're like a radio station exuding that
Mm-hmm.
energy out around you. And if you are peaceful, calm, meditator, that's the energy you exude. And when you're in the presence of a powerful, calm person,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, oh, I just want to be in the same room with that person.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's the person who maybe got some focus and did some things and took a break and did some other things, and then
Mm-hmm.
and they did the thing that makes their mind calm.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes, you can't have a mind that's calm when you're worried about your next task and you haven't gotten anything done. This morning, I said, I'm going to get this, and that done before noon, and
Mm-hmm.
then the rest of my day will happen. And instead, ding dong, my email rang
Mm-hmm.
me, my Instagram messages came. I looked at this and that. I made some breakfast. I ate some, that was, oh, I ate cookies for breakfast. That was probably my downfall.
Ah. Did you
Cookies and
enjoy the
sugar and
cookies?
caffeine. I used to be able to do that more when I was younger. I could do sugar and caffeine and then get going for hours and get a lot of stuff done. And now I'm like such a distractible human. So many things, instead of thinking I'm going to do this one thing and then move to the next. I was doing all the different things, kind of interrupting the other
Mm-hmm.
thing and thinking, this is the next thing that I want to do. This is going to make me happy. But also in the back of my mind thinking, oh, that other thing isn't finished yet. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, uh. But that's not really what you were talking about at the beginning of this.
No, it's an actual full break. So you recognize you have to get back to it. But if you kind of keep yourself partially in it, then what
Mhm.
happens is you're actually not getting the full recharge benefit because
No.
you're still thinking of this thing you have to do. Your mind is still working on it, even though you may have removed yourself physically. So the key is you want a full recharge break.
Yes. Okay. So close down the computer, close down the
Yes.
email, go for a walk, maybe
Mm-hmm.
leave your phone at home. I did that the other day and it was very,
Was it?
very, very disturbing.
We
What do I
have gotten,
do? I'm leaving
yeah.
my phone at home. I'm going for a walk. And then I was like, oh, look at that pretty, oh, I can't take a picture of that. I left my phone at home. Oh, look at that pretty flower. No, I can't take a picture of that. I left my phone at home. Oh, what if I get lost? Who would I call? Oh, I don't have my phone. There were all this, like, I think there's a name for that now, like phone anxiety or something.
I think they're definitely phone anxiety. This is one thing that I don't appreciate that we got rid of the payphones. You know, I'm old enough to remember having payphones.
I'm
And
old
I
enough to
know,
remember payphones that cost 10 cents because my mother said, always have a dime in your purse, even when you go on a
right.
date, honey, in case you need to make a phone call.
So I actually was just talking to a friend of mine because they actually had a landline and they got some letters saying they were getting rid of they were forcing them to get rid of the landline, but they were going to get something
Hmm.
better, like with the battery backup and all. I said, do you have to get rid of the landline? And they're like, well, they give me something better. I'm like, listen, between natural and human made disasters, you want a landline. I think it is a huge mistake. I love the cell phone. I appreciate the cell phone. The cell phone really helps me do what I got to do. But I think we've lost sight of the idea that the landline payphones are essential backup systems. And to your point, if we could actually go back to the days where we could go on a corner, I would love to see cities bring back the payphone. So if you left your phone at home, you would have a payphone not far from where you are. And if you needed help, you could get it.
Yeah, yeah. Because, I mean, where did we get the idea that wherever we are, we might need to call for help? That's also ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I spent my entire childhood just like riding my bike around the neighborhood and playing in the
Hmm.
woods with my friends, and we didn't have a phone.
Right. We
Maybe
didn't.
we'd yell with our voice, Mommy.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, where the cell phone has been tremendous, and I want to say that big moment, since 2010, where the technology just took off, it also has made us very dependent. Like to your point, even if not even to call for help, but the idea is you can enjoy a sunset without taking a picture of it. You
Yes.
can enjoy a flower without taking a picture of it. You can just go for a lovely walk with a friend or have a good meal, and you do not need to take a picture of it.
Yes. If you don't document the beautiful sunset, does it still happen? Yes.
Yes.
If you don't document the beautiful flowers on your walk, are they still there?
Hmm.
Yes. In fact, it might be the few times that I've gone around without my phone or my phone was
Hmm.
dead.
Hmm.
And I think, oh, I should take a picture of that. And I was like, why? I'm just going to look at it. In fact, I'm
Yeah.
just going to smell this flower. Does it smell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because before we had cell phones, this was our hard drive. These eyes were our camera. And we took that picture with our eyes and we put to our brains. And we would remember it for the rest of our lives if it truly touched us.
Yes. Yes. Oh, that's so beautiful. There's a mic drop there. Thanks, Christina.
You're welcome. Thank you.